Across the cosmic corridor, everyone, it's Deep Dive Zone, a Sonic review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. I'm your host, Evan, joined as always by my comrades Lauren and Bruce, and today we are doing some more Sonic X in the space arc, and there's some stuff going on here.
It feels
I
like a
mean,
mid-season finale.
it does kind of.
It is. That is today.
Okay.
In fact, we're starting here with episode 64, Clash! Sonic vs. Shadow, or a Metarex melee in the dub. As the attack on the space stronghold continues, Sonic and Shadow find themselves on opposing sides of a battle of ultimate power.
Wow, I'm actually glad that they changed the English title dramatically, because that just spoiled a huge part of it.
It really does.
Yes. Yeah, so we pick up right where we left off last week with Dark Oak and all of his Metarex buddies showing up, and he's like, all the Metarex have been fed tons of your battle data, Sonic, so you're gonna lose this fight.
Whenever they gloat that he's gonna lose, that usually doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean that's classic shonen is just
Yeah.
the more your enemy underestimates you, they're always going to lose.
Right. The harder they're gonna fall.
Yeah.
There was a big missed opportunity to integrate like the Gizoid here, because that's Emerald's thing, but instead they completely abandoned him.
I mean,
Yeah, I said
yeah.
before that I was surprised that they didn't try to tie him into the Metarex, and I guess the only
I
thing would
guess
be
that would have made sense. I guess.
maybe since these are anime original, the Sonic team at some point, obviously not now or even in 2009 when they let BioWare decide, maybe Sonic team at some point had an idea for who the fourth civilization actually was.
Sure. Yeah, but we'll probably never know.
Maybe.
Well,
we got Dark Beginnings with Emerald in it.
That's true, actually. So maybe we will get to know. I don't know. We'll know eventually.
There's a possibility that they'll never fucking do anything with it.
That's also true.
Anyway, so yeah, Sonic, of course, is completely fine with these other Metarex. We already fought this kind, you know?
Exactly, these
They're
weird
weak.
fish-looking things.
Yeah, so he attacks Dark Oak head on, but it's just a hologram.
Bastard's too much of a pussy to actually show up.
There are some things that abuse that trope a lot. Sonic doesn't use it enough, so I actually get surprised every time
No.
he makes a
Oh
hologram.
yeah, no. I was actually surprised to see that wasn't Dark Oak.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because I guess the other case I can remember it happening is Archie, Sonic, Eggman showing up before the Zordo War.
Oh yeah.
Except that hologram could also turn solid. That was a weird bit, but
That was weird.
it's alright. There's plenty more Metarex drones to go around, so you can fight those instead. And, plenty of other Metarex in general. There's an entire armada here to back up the fortress. And it's led by Red Pine, one of the 4 Grand Masters serving under Dark Oak.
The ship appears to be very similar to the Hell ship, but it's not like a sentient ship. So it makes me wonder if that was if the Hell ship was actually a Metarex, or that was just a Metarex on a ship.
I feel like we would have seen the Metarex in some point if it wasn't a ship.
That's what I'm thinking. So I'm guessing the ship was the Metarex.
Yeah, I don't know what the distinction between Metarex that are Metarex and Metarex that are tools is.
Sure.
But yeah, so this is going bad, so Eggman absconds and instructs everyone else to get the hell out of there too. But unfortunately, there is a lot of damn drones, so Sonic he's very, very occupied. Amy is using her ship to shoot some of them, but can't hold out forever.
Sure.
So Cosmo actually grabs the emeralds, and she's like, I better get these to Sonic. But, they've been pumping that planet egg full of chaos juice. And I guess since they're just leaving the heroes to die, the Metarex are just taking it and leaving, so it gets ejected.
Right, yeah.
And Red Pine's like, perfect, now we can just destroy the entire fortress.
Yeah, we don't need this fortress anymore. I guess they were done with it, because that does seem like a bit of a waste.
It's not if they blow up all the heroes.
That's true. They get rid of Sonic, and I guess Eggman and his posse, because they've been a nuisance to the Metarex as well.
Yeah. And I guess they don't care about destroying whatever remaining Metarex are on there, but
I mean, the
Again,
drones appear to be pretty much disposable.
yeah, and this is the show being weird again about which Metarex are guys and which Metarex are robots.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everybody's trying to escape. Shadow is trying to chaos control out of there, but Chris and Rouge are like, no, you have to help. Eggman is just using you, and he's not going to actually give you your memories back. But he's like, eh.
Just want to be a bastard. It's fine.
And just like the SA2 arc, Shadow chaos controls out, but Chris jumps on him and ends up with him.
Yeah.
But this time, Chris doesn't have to become mopey for a long time to jump into action. He's actually pretty prepared this time.
He immediately whips out a fucking flashbang.
Yeah. A rare, unironic Chris W in that, yeah,
Yeah.
he flashbangs everyone, he steals the Chaos Emeralds and a ship.
Yeah, goddamn. Maybe adult Chris is, like, actually competent.
I mean, he kind of is, actually.
Well, so we've seen that he is fairly competent. He just hasn't matured very much emotionally.
Right, that's the problem.
Yeah, it succeeds without anybody else's help, and he's headed back to the fortress to get friends.
Good for him. Good for him.
Which is good, because they're almost being blown up right now.
Yeah.
And, again, weird dynamic here. They ask why they'd attack a station full of their own comrades, and the drones say, oh, we'll gladly die to help achieve peace. You guys are robots!
It might be a case like the guardsmen in 40K, where they're so zealotly devoted to their cause that if their death furthers it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but part of this is that, the show is not, telling you what the deal with the Metarex is, and I
That's
know
true.
which ones are robots and which aren't. So maybe it only feels weird to me.
I mean, I'll admit it does feel a little weird. It feels kind of inconsistent.
Yeah.
After going through all of Sonic media, at this point I treat robots and living beings almost the same in the Sonic universe. So
Honestly, that's probably a good idea, because a lot of the time they do feel very similar.
Yeah, fair enough. Anywho, Shadow and Rouge pursue Chris and take his ship down, and she's like, I'll keep him away from you, Shadow, if you give me the emeralds. And Shadow's like, nah. And Rouge is perfectly happy to drop his ass down the huge shaft area when he says that.
Yeah, she won't get the emeralds then. What? I don't understand.
Well, it's like,
I guess if she can't have them, no one can. Well, hold on. If he just dies on impact, she could just fly down and get the emeralds.
well,
That's
and I
pretty
kind of
cold
thought
for
that
Rouge.
letting
That is cold
Chris,
for Rouge.
I kind of thought that letting Chris fall to his death was a line that Rouge might not cross, because she's been in this scenario before. Chris has Chaos Emeralds and could fall to his death, but she doesn't
And
let
she
him.
still, Rouge has felt a little inconsistent also.
The moral degradation of Rouge the Bad has reached its final form.
Yeah, she's ready to commit homicide.
But it's okay.
Well, yeah, because Chris fucking lucks out.
Yeah, Knuckles manages to catch him.
Hey, finally, Knuckles gets to actually do something for once in a while.
Happens
Yeah, well,
occasionally.
It
in
does.
fairness, his only other option, stranded here at the bottom of the shaft, would be to try and fly the X-Tornado himself, and he would definitely crash that thing.
Well, he even said earlier, it's like, I don't know how to use machines.
I'm pretty sure that Team Sonic Racing is the only time in the entire Sonic franchise that Knuckles has piloted a vehicle without necessarily crashing it.
In the original intro to this show, which I think uses pilot footage.
Okay, you know what? You're right.
He
does
does
have a fucking
drive.
flying saucer in that.
Yeah, but I don't think that's canon to anything other than
No,
itself.
In Sonic Advance 2, he operates an Eggman machine.
Oh, there you go.
I never could tell if he was operating that willingly or if he was stuck in there. I think we had a conversation about that, didn't we?
Yeah, I can't remember what conclusion we came
It was
to.
so long ago. That was another lifetime ago.
In any case, because of this sort of back and forth, all 7 emeralds are in the same place now.
Yeah, kind of just incidentally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh wait, shoot, they're all here.
Yeah, exactly. I realized it just as it was happening.
Yeah, you wouldn't notice that that was actually what was going on until it gets there, which I guess means that it's a good reveal.
Yeah,
True.
no, that's a solid reveal. They did a good job with that one.
But Shadow was hanging on to the X Tornado, which means that we get both Supersonic and Super Shadow.
Damn.
And that means, yes, this is a fight over the emeralds between two super forms.
Which is an interesting idea.
We have only had one other super versus super fight, and it's in fucking Supersonic versus Hyper Knuckles.
Damn, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I didn't expect them to just start duking it out.
At first, I wasn't even expecting them to go super. It seems almost like they unintentionally went super.
I mean, the emeralds are all there. Well, yes,
Yeah, the
I think it
emeralds are
was.
all
I think it
there.
was unintentional.
Yeah, it seems like the emeralds were all there and they're about to go at it. So their chaos energy went a little haywire and they went super.
Yeah. And it's moments like this where I kick myself, and by that I mean I wish I was kicking the people who funded this show, because they should have had more actual animation for this.
Yeah, it's mostly just two JPEGs like sliding around.
The animation is very limited for what, they clearly want to be the coolest fight ever.
Oh yeah, that's been a problem with this show in general.
Yeah, but a lot of times, they write
This-
strategically in a way such that fights don't have to last that long.
Sure, but
And
this
this one
fight is
doesn't
like a
last very
solid
long.
few minutes. It's
So-
still like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, but if you had, the big Sakuga moment, like...
Fair enough.
it's not like they can just, slap Naotoshi Shida in whatever, but that would have been the perfect opportunity for, crazy camera angles.
Well,
flying
yeah, of
around.
course.
Dragon Ball is shit.
Okay. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm agreeing with you. This should be like Goku and Frieza.
I'm thinking almost like Goku versus Vegeta, 2 in
Yeah.
the Buu arc. That thing has
Okay, yeah.
almost nothing in the manga, but in the anime, that's like where Yamamuro stepped up and every single crazy action sequence from that
Fair enough.
almost
Fair
the
enough.
entire arc shows up there.
Speaking of Dragon Ball, has Supersonic shot energy blast in this show before?
Okay, I was wondering about that. I don't think he has.
I don't think so. That's not without precedent in the franchise.
No, I
'cause
think
he
he's
does
done
in
that
Sonic
previously.
Rush, right?
I don't think so.
I know he does it
No,
at
it's-
some point.
It's Blaze who does it in Rush.
Yeah.
Does Sonic do it in Frontiers?
Sonic gets all sorts of energy blasts in Frontiers, but we can't
Okay, I
count
thought
that
so.
came out 20 years after this.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of anything that we've covered already before this. I swear I've seen him do it.
I'm racking my brain right now, and there's probably something, but I can't remember what.
I
Maybe
thought it
put
might
on
have
screen
happened
if
in
I
the
remember
comics.
when it
Or
I was just
something.
thinking maybe Archie. It wouldn't surprise me if we're thinking of something in Archie.
Oh,
Anyway.
evil Supersonic and Archie shot energy blasts.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, in that space arc.
All right, yeah. Oh, in another space arc.
Anywho,
Interesting.
yeah, so they fight. The center of the fortress has a huge gravity well in it for... I'm not sure why.
Okay, so the gravity well didn't just appear.
No,
I
I
was a
think
little
it was
confused
always
about that.
there, so maybe that's what it has instead of a core that holds it together?
Oh, in that case, I was just thinking maybe, I don't know, using a black hole as a power source, because that's totally within the realm of semi possibility.
It does almost act like a black hole later, so
I thought it was a black hole, but later on it appears to be more like some sort of wormhole.
Well, that's not uncommon in
No,
media
it
to
isn't.
portray black holes also like wormholes.
Right, which I mean, there's some theory that they are one and the same.
Yeah. In any case, yeah, it starts growing and it starts sucking up everything, and the rest of the cast are like, alright, we can't do Supersonic versus Super Shadow anymore. We have to just, get out of here.
We have to do survival.
Yeah, so the hero cast basically escapes. It sucks up the entire Metarex fleet, including Red Pine, right?
Yes, I believe so.
And it pulls in Eggman's ship.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a Chaos Emerald anymore.
Except
or any Chaos
Shadow
Emeralds.
jumps in and he Chaos controls them out of there, but it gets all of the emeralds.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going to be stuck hunting for those yet a fucking again.
Yeah, there isn't enough of the show left, I feel like, for that to be that big of a deal.
I mean, I saw them drop in there, and I'm like, oh shoot, the Metarex have them. I guess the heroes will have to grab them back. I didn't think it'd have to be a hunt.
Well, I guess it's more of a hunt because it seems like they're going. We'll see shortly that they appear to be going to another universe.
Yeah, but at the time.
Yeah, at the time, we don't know where this leads.
And finally, the Blue Typhoon picks up Sonic, so yeah, we're kinda back to square one here, but it is going to get a bit stranger from here on out, I would say. But as a mid-season finale, quote unquote, I don't think it did a bad job.
No, it's sufficiently climactic to be a mid-season finale.
Well, it's like, what are the other two mid-season finales here? The finale to SA2, that's a worthy competitor, and then the other one is just like the attack on the Eggman base, which we did not have much good to say about.
Yeah.
The good news is I think that the second half of the space arc is better than the first.
Already.
Which means, clearly we're halfway through with the space arc, which means, things are going to get darker, they're going to get edgier, we're going to have a really serious episode. Just kidding, it's a Chaotix episode.
Oh boy!
Like, I don't know. Anyone who's been paying attention would know that what you were saying was completely false. It's so obviously wrong.
Yeah. Well, this is episode 65, Chaotix, Electric Love Shock Tactics.
Oh boy!
Or Mission Matchup in the dub. It's a heck of a title card, with the hearts and tails, and the Sonic logo obscuring the face of the mysterious green person he's holding his hand out to.
Gee, I wonder.
While repairing the ship after the attack on the Metarex fortress, the Blue Typhoon is blessed with a visit from the Chaotix, who recently realized they have no idea how to get home. Eager to help out, quote-unquote, they set a series of elaborate romance traps attempting to set up Tails and Cosmo.
I mean, at least the show isn't trying to tiptoe around Tails and Cosmo. They're just gonna fucking shove it in our face instead.
We're still clearly dealing with the fallout of the last two episodes.
Yeah.
So it's not like...
Yeah, because the Typhoon is under heavy repair.
It's under heavier repair, and we do get a look at the other three big bosses, Pale Bay Leaf, Yellow Zelkova, and Black Narcissus.
Yeah, it kind of threw me off. I was like, okay, so the Metarex are mostly faceless. There's like a commander, and then Red Pine showed up last episode, but then he was gone, and like, okay, whatever. And then there's like, here's a whole bunch of them.
Well, so I guess it's like, there's 4 bosses under a head commander. I guess that makes enough sense, I guess.
I just didn't expect a rapid-fire introduction of them at this late in the game.
Yeah, I would expect them to do that over episodes instead of episode and a half.
Well, especially since 4 commanders, it's more like 3 commanders. Whatever
Red Pine is...
Whatever the fuck happened in that black hole, the Chaos Emerald survived. Red Pine didn't. He's just gone.
Yeah, Red Pine was a threat for all of about 10 minutes.
Yeah. Rip Bozo? I don't know.
I guess?
They don't really acknowledge that he ever existed. It's very strange.
I mean, there's a line about how he was an idiot because he failed or something, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I just don't understand how a black hole... I mean, I guess the Chaos Emeralds are strong. Whatever.
I don't know.
I have more comments on that later when we kind of get back to it.
Yeah.
Alright. Also, Pale Bay Leaf has the red emerald, so apparently we fished them out of there somehow.
Yeah.
I assume that was an artificial Chaos Emerald.
That's what I was
thinking. Maybe it is. I don't know.
But...
They don't say one way or the other, so it could be anything.
I figured it would be one because there's a scene right at the end. I think right at the end of this scene, they show Bayleaf gripping the emerald. And I figured it was going to like explode or be crushed or something, but
maybe
it just doesn't.
But in any case, the Typhoon is being hailed by the Chaotix, who got lost on their way home. Some dumbass let Charmy drive. And Tails is like, alright, well, you guys' ship is banged up, I'll help you fix it. And as fucking usual, Vector is gonna screw things up. Because
lock Vector in the ship.
Apparently his personality in the show is just that he's delusional. He is convinced that Tails is in love with Cosmo, which, obviously, we as Sonic fans know where that ends up going in this show, but I don't know if I would agree that that's been demonstrated up to this point. Like, obviously the Underground episode was shipping them, but I don't know if it
I
portrayed them
think
as having romantic emotions explicitly.
to me at least it felt a bit like it was two people that are kind of unsure about it. They think they might have feelings, but they're not 100% sure.
Yeah,
And
I
now
don't
the
know.
show's just gonna shove it down our throats that, oh yeah, no, this is the thing.
Yeah, Vector ranting about shipping dynamics for a kid he barely knows.
Oh
Um,
God.
and he, that being said, I do think it's funny where he says Tails is too shy to confess and distracts himself with work to compensate, which is clearly just Vector projecting because that's exactly how he deals with crushing on Vanilla. And he's like, we're gonna work out some plans. We get these absurd plans to get Tails and Cosmo in dangerous romantic situations, accompanied by these absurd illustrations with like thick line animation of Tails as like a Japanese delinquent and Cosmo as this doting waif in a kimono.
Yeah,
Do they cut those out of the English version, Lauren?
I was
Yeah, they're
wondering about
not in it.
that. Interesting. That doesn't surprise me.
It's a shame. Uh,
Uh,
I
I mean,
feel
they should
like,
have cut this whole episode out, honestly.
yeah, but that would have been a good chance for the voice actors to ham it up. But yeah, so their first strategy is to be a fucking menace because they
Isn't that
weekend at
always the
Bernie's
strategy?
Knuckles.
True.
The weekend at Bernie's plan feels like an escalation. I don't know.
Oh,
Uh,
I mean, fair.
because they knock Knuckles the fuck out. They knuckles him out.
He
Uh,
knuckled him out.
and they're gonna have him pretend to attack Cosmo with a face drawn on his face.
Why? I don't understand why they thought this plan would work.
This plan is dumb for a multitude of reasons. But the thing that makes me the most angry about it is the continued abuse of Knuckles. Why'd they have to
Oh
Knuckles him
yeah.
out? Couldn't one of them just have played the part?
No, they should have just done Sonic.
Yeah, well, especially since that they've not exactly been the most friendly. They've had a lot of
That's true. They
conflict with the
they
heroes.
could have just used Vector.
Yeah.
Or Espio, since he's
It-
the one who they know the least.
Well, yeah, but
Um,
like Vector's clearly the scariest out of all the three of them.
Yeah,
I very much suspect that he actually would be the least menacing because he's
Oh yeah,
not that type.
probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
um,
probably.
the
But no,
the
we
comments-
have to abuse Knuckles.
Yeah, and it's like in any other circumstance, if it weren't part of a pattern of behavior, the fucking Sinister's face drawn on Knuckles unconscious would be really fucking funny, honestly. It's
Yeah,
so
well,
ridiculous.
yeah.
And this whole thing is a stupid farce anyway. Like, it's not even like an I'm being attacked thing. It mostly just confuses everyone. And, well, it makes Cosmo like Knuckles slightly better, which is,
Maybe it's different in the Japanese, but in the English, she's just like, "Oh, I didn't know that Knuckles was had a sense of humor." She just finds it funny, and then
Something.
Vector is like,
Yeah.
"I can't believe it! She's falling for him instead." Like, no,
That basically happens in Japanese also.
He's just being an idiot.
It's
So, yeah, that one doesn't work. But hey, you know what? At least we can cut to Eggman to get a reprieve from all this.
Thank God.
That is to say, all the robots are kind of bent out of shape by the black hole, and Eggman's like, meh. He's talking to Rouge about Shadow, who only survived because Shadow, they make clear that Shadow would have died again if not for the limiter rings that Chris gave him.
I don't know why Eggman couldn't have made him inhibitor rings.
Oh, I'm sure he could have, he just didn't because he doesn't care.
Letting Shadow be strong and be able to escape was not good.
Sure. Well, no, but Eggman has to understand if
Short bursts of energy are perfect for Eggman, and he has to get tired and come home.
yeah, but the problem is also that Shadow's not going to do that. He's just going to kill himself.
Shadow goes unconscious before he just dies.
That's true.
I think the point is that if Shadow overused his energy and went unconscious, they wouldn't have been able to save him, I think is the
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so Tails and Cosmo bump into each other for real, and Cosmo drops a box with some kind of flower brooch in it.
Do they
Yeah.
explain that? I just realized I don't think they do.
No.
What do you mean? Is in that
Where
it's
it comes
hers or
from.
what it is?
what it is.
Yeah.
I don't think they say anything about it.
I think it's
Just that
just
it's
some
important.
freaking accessory. I don't know. It's
I-
weird
I-
because like the image that the show has painted of Cosmos society up to this point is not one with a lot of personal belongings.
True.
I mean, the image that's been painted of Cosmos Society is that is not a whole lot in general.
I guess, but like she doesn't have stuff, you know.
I mean, yeah, she really doesn't. But I have
I'm
a
not even
feeling
sure if
that's
she-
because
like
her stuff was destroyed.
yeah, fair. Um, but Tails goes to return her little thingy, only to find she's planning a surprise party to thank the heroes for their help.
They're helping doing fucking what?
I mean, helping beat the Metarex. You know, helping her.
She's just trying to keep their spirits up.
Trying to
Yeah,
show her
that's
appreciation.
for all intents and purposes, they effectively just failed because the Metarex at least have one Chaos Emerald now.
They're still trying. It doesn't matter.
I know.
It's all part of the process. You think Cosmo would blame them for that? I don't.
No, probably not.
But Tails like, well, you know, you can't do this all on your own. I'll help you with it. And the Chaotix see that that's Tails making a connection, so they decide to back up. Just kidding. Vector's gonna pull more wacky, stupid bullshit.
Every step of the way, mostly SBO, I think, keeps trying to talk him out of it, but he just won't have it.
SBO's being the actual adult here and saying, yeah, maybe we should just, like, back off.
The second, much lamer plan is we're going to turn the lights off and put them next to each other in the dark. That's it.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think running into Kayla in the dark would have made us fall in love. Is that a yes? No? Okay, I'm pretty sure that was a no.
Kayla's not on the show yet. Stop talking to them.
We have concrete evidence now that this cartoon show for children is not realistically portraying romance.
I mean, yeah, shit. This should be the most realistically portrayed romance ever, which means it needs to be a long burn for at least 5 years.
So Vector mostly just ends up making Tails uncomfortable by like fantasizing and giggling about this while standing right next to him. It's very weird.
He also calls Tails a late bloomer, which he's 8.
Does he not know?
Yeah, maybe he thinks Tails is the same age as Sonic.
Either way, yeah, Vector is very weird here.
He's
and
very fucking weird.
And he's like, "Can I help?" And then Tails is like, "Okay, but only if you leave me alone."
Yeah. Predictable slapstick comedy happens when he and SBO fail to grab either of them and just slam into each other in the dark.
Well, so according to Vector's logic, they should fall in love, right?
That is toxic yaoi if I've ever heard of it.
God damn it.
So, we immediately move into the third plan, which is the good old drop her handkerchief and fall in love when he gives it back.
Tried and true.
Does that happen in real life? It's like you see
I
that
think
in fiction.
I think that's a fiction trope.
It's just a strange, yeah. And of course, I do actually like part of this gag, which is they're like, oh yeah, we have a handkerchief, and it's just this ratty ass rag that is even monogrammed to Vector.
Why did I think this plan was going to? Actually, I shouldn't question that.
Well, and it is
Also-
funny because it immediately fails because they drop it. Tails is like, Cosmo, is this yours? And he's like, no. And he's like, oh, okay.
Well, they even comment like, "Damn, Cosmo wouldn't use anything this dirty."
Yeah, and I feel like the actual gag here, or at least the intended subtext of the entire episode, is that Tails calls Cosmo his friend here. And I think that what they should have played on here is that Cosmo is clearly more in love with Tails than he is with her.
Yeah, probably.
So maybe Vector should approach this from the opposite end, but he's too stupid to know what girls like, so I don't know.
Oof.
Tails only shows the slightest sign of affection when Vector nearly kicks a disco ball at her head.
Ah, yes. What better way to make two people fall in love? Almost kill one of them.
Yeah. Exactly what I was going to say. You know, it's like, they clearly enjoy each other's company anyway. You can't just fuck off. Like...
No, because adaptations just have to ruin Vector for some reason.
Yeah, Archie Vector also sucks in a different way. And also
Yeah,
about
sure he
romance.
I don't know why the writers keep seeing him that way.
Well, okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Penders saw him as a black stereotype that he could project traits onto. The Sonic X writer see him entirely as a comic relief character who is a bumbling fool. I don't think that it's a related thing.
No, it's not related. It's just a weird coincidence.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking, is there any Vector outside of main canon who's good? You know what? Vector is in exactly one episode of the Sonic Boom cartoon.
I was gonna say
fine
Sonic
there.
Boom. I haven't even seen him in Boom, but I was like, yeah, Boom doesn't usually fuck up its characters that much, at least.
I would say that Boom creates likable characters, but they're not like the canon ones.
Well, yeah. So create a character being different from canon doesn't make them unlikable, though.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll get there when we get there. Vector, of course, has to just push one more time by offering to bring the others to the room. And, well, we get one of them, which is Knuckles, who destroys the fuck out of the room because you guys knocked me out and scribble all over my face, assholes. And the others get there and see how everything is messed up. And Sonic's like, hey, room is messy, we can still have a party here.
Yeah, it's a party. It's gonna get messed up eventually anyway.
Also, Amy is in this, nice dress, and she's, doing more flirty stuff with Sonic. And Sonic is just completely dead-eyed through this whole thing. What is this meant to convey from him?
He's dead-eyed and slack-jawed.
Yeah, is it like Amy is too impressively beautiful, or does he just not care? What's going on?
He's very nervous because Amy will just kill him if he doesn't say the right thing.
Maybe.
Probably true.
It's a very weird moment.
It is very strange.
Honestly, the Son Amy dynamic is very strange in X.
It is.
Yeah, I have no idea what they're... Yeah. We do get... We kind of get back at SBO by painting his face, which I guess is a nice little parallel to what he did to Knuckles, but...
I mean, Vector deserves it more.
Yeah, it was his idea. But we end with... We end with Tails almost calling Cosmo beautiful, but pulling back when she thinks he's just saying the cosmos are beautiful. Because of course this show would pull that shit.
Look, it's still a kid's show, and kids' show can't have romance. Because we know where romance leads.
I watched The Owl House, motherfucker. That has lesbian romance for the main character.
Excuse me. Japanese children's show.
Okay, you know what? This was 20 years before The Owl House.
That is also true. Actually, yeah, you know what? American cartoons of the time didn't have romance.
And they definitely didn't have lesbians, so...
That's also very true.
Yeah, technically she's bisexual. Anyway, so yeah, just more dumping on the Chaotix and Knuckles. That's like the show's go-to if it needs just wacky comic relief.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I mean, I can take the Chaotix as the comic relief since that's all they've been in this show. But, come on, guys. Knuckles doesn't deserve this.
Yeah, I think what it is that we're bigger fans of Knuckles than we are of the Chaotix innately.
I
noticed that the Chaotix are being dumped on, but I'm not too upset about it.
I couldn't give a fuck about the Chaotix.
Yeah.
I'm only annoyed because every time they show up, they hijack the whole episode.
Yeah, I mean, if they showed up and it was still, a regular episode, but had some Chaotix hijinks in it, I could put up with that.
Yeah.
Well, if it's any consolation, I'm pretty sure this is the last time they do that.
Is it just, the last time they show up, period?
No, but I think this is the last time they hijack an entire episode like this.
Okay.
Which, you know me in making predictions, I'm a little afraid that I'm wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure.
True. You've made multiple predictions.
Well, let's run away from that and finish off with episode 66, a real episode, Crossing the Galaxy Corridor, ! Or Clash in the Cloister in the dub, wherein the heroes have to cross into the Metarex universe, part of the galaxy, something like that, and it's this big thing that they have to go through to get there. I didn't write a description on this one, but yeah, we are stopped, I guess, still near the black hole. It's weird.
The last episode, it didn't really seem like they were still near the gravitational anomaly.
No, it seemed like they left.
But now they're back, so I have to assume that they've always been just kind of... They've been parked outside of it.
And it's really weird because Tails is like, yeah, that leads to the Metarex's universe. In future episodes, he'll not call it a universe, but also no, because, again, Red Pine got sucked in there. He reacted like he was dying. We don't see him again.
Right.
There's a reason nobody wanted to get sucked in there, but apparently the typhoon can just go through?
I don't know. If you enter, like, under your own control, maybe?
Well, I mean, the Blue Typhoon has like a magical shield thing.
The Blue Typhoon
I
has the
guess.
most important armor.
Maybe it's like that episode of Doctor Who where they get that bus stranded on the desert planet, but because it had thick enough shielding they didn't all die. Um
Sure.
I don't know.
That didn't really make much sense to me either.
But they're like, this is their universe's problem, and Chris shouldn't dive into the danger if he doesn't want to. But like,
At
obviously,
this
he's going to
point,
do that.
well, yeah, hey, at this point, why did any of them think Chris was going to say no?
Well, it's like, what's your alternative? You turn around. You
No,
already
they just
sent the Chaotix off last
they
episode.
no, they just drop him off in an EVA suit.
So they take the ship into this galaxy corridor, and this warbly screen effect gets applied for a minute. And it's funny because I was looking at the gallery images before we covered this episode, and I saw some of the screenshots of this sequence, and I forgot that was what happened. I was like, why does the animation look like shit?
They're only posting all the blur frames.
Yeah, but it was intentional,
Yeah.
and maybe that's the passing through the part that would have killed Red Pine because they get through it and then they're just fine.
I guess.
But unfortunately, we can't pass all the way through because we get caught in a bunch of galactic weeds. I'm not sure what this thing is as part of the problem.
It's like a briar patch.
It's this. I just mean this entire corridor is like a yellow
Well, yeah.
shell.
I don't really understand what's going on in most of this episode. I'm gonna be honest.
Honestly, I don't mind. It's a weird cosmic
It's
tunnel.
weird.
It can
Yeah.
be strange. You don't have to have an
Oh, sure,
explanation.
yeah. I don't
Yeah, I
mind it
guess.
being abstract and weird. It just like it does make it a little hard to understand what's
I-
going on.
It's
in part
not.
of
It's
the
not a problem
episode.
of me not understanding what's going on. It's just I wish they said what this thing was. It's just
Well,
it's
yeah,
the
that's the
galactic
thing.
corridor.
Yeah, that's my issue. That's what I mean. It's like I don't understand what's going on. They don't explain anything. It's just like, oh yeah, you should already know what this means.
So we gotta get out and cut the weeds. We have a laser weed cutter, but it's okay. Chris made a special pair of Sonic shoes for it.
Okay, so are the blades on this thing spinning or like
Yeah,
vibrating?
because how do those pass through the entire shoe if they?
Yeah, do they like pass through Sonic's foot?
Well, I mean Sonic doesn't gore his feet doing this, so
I think they've got to be like vibrating.
I I think it's cartoon logic. I think that if you
Okay, well,
animated
yeah,
these
but
things,
like,
it would show the blades spinning up and down. Although there's clearly not enough room in the shoe for them to pass through the edge of it. I don't know, but
yeah,
in any
well, yeah,
case,
you gotta remember, my brain makes me need to question it.
yeah, I like the tidbit about Tails mail ordering the laser tree cutter. What does that mean?
From where?
Yeah,
At
when did the
home?
mail come?
Or if, has he just had this and was just waiting for a day to finally bust it out?
Yeah,
That's interesting. Perhaps a slight improvement that the dub completely changes that and simply says that he made it earlier to help trim the hedges back on Earth.
That makes a lot more sense.
yeah. But unfortunately, as much fun as watching Sonic grind along the side of the ship with a blade, shouldn't that cut into the ship? Whatever.
Yeah.
That's probably reinforced. The galaxy corridor is slowly closing up and getting more dangerous. So we're gonna
some
get
reason.
imploded on.
Well, I mean, maybe it
I
just
guess
kind of
collapsing?
it has different states, and that's what happened maybe to Red Pine.
I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah, that's
yeah.
a good one actually.
Yeah, fair enough. fair
You know
enough.
what? I'll believe it. But meanwhile, the remaining Dark Oak bosses are arguing over who gets to fight Sonic, and we get properly introduced to Yellow Zelkova, the wackiest of the three, who is just this big doofy guy, I guess.
Yeah,
He
yeah, I
is-
mean, it's obviously just for comedy, but
Yeah.
like seriously, this is one of the big bosses, a complete idiot.
I guess because he's just so strong.
he is blustering around, eating curry, I think, and like
Yeah.
punching pillars, and talking about how manly he is. And Dark
It
Oak is
reminds
like,
me of a really shitty space marine.
Dark Oak is like, this fucker is so annoying. Get him out of here. Fine, you can go do it.
Maybe he'll die.
Just kept promoting him to get him in more dangerous situations, and somehow didn't keep dying.
Even a Metarex can fail upward.
Oof.
And yeah, he's the one Dark Oak sends out, and he just challenges the group head on without any reinforcements.
Yeah, he should have an Arby, I think, but he doesn't care.
He's all about brawn.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's so strong he doesn't need it.
Breaking pillars off the corridor and throwing them at the heroes.
These pillars that I think just kind of grow up and out of the ground suddenly.
Yeah, again, I wish I knew what this thing was other than some cool cosmic anomaly.
It would be cool to get a little bit of explanation.
Like, I want to explore this in Outer Wilds.
I'm gonna be honest. This gives me like special stage vibes.
Yeah, but special stages are pretty.
I mean, yeah, but you know,
this is Sonic X. Many things are not pretty.
Exactly.
But yes, Sonic and Knuckles try to fight him, and they can't do much at first.
I mean, that's pretty standard for Metarex fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so excited for a Sonic and Knuckles team up. Darn.
Yeah, unfortunately, Knuckles can't do anything.
Some
anymore.
stuff. Zelkova swings a pillar around with Sonic stuck to it, and he tries to hit him, but Knuckles catches it and throws it back on top of him.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's a moment and you're like, okay, it didn't even scratch him.
Right.
Yeah, it's like if they got to work together and gradually beat something. But Zelkova is just, he's too bulky and sluggish to handle his own weight, I guess. Sonic kind of kites him out when he runs at Knuckles, but he just keeps going through more pillars, which they realize, oh shit, we can use those to get the pillar out of the way so they can move the ship through.
Yep.
So they keep baiting attacks out from him. And this is the part where Knuckles goes, I'm a dancing fool! You know, once Zelkova's in the right position, we're finishing him off with a Sonic driver, which he thinks is just a fireworks display, and he stands there and just completely tanks the blast.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't actually destroy him, so I guess it's fine they didn't dodge.
I think it's a point of comparison, because this destroyed the Metarex we used it on before, but he's strong, and does nothing.
He's strong boy.
I mean, it does ultimately let them escape, because it destroys the barrier.
Well, and I think that, you know, you couldn't have them just topple one of the bosses instantly, so I think it's good that he doesn't, like, actually get challenged. He just is too stupid. It's just that him being stupid makes the Metarex seem less threatening.
That's one thing. And also, it's like, oh, you didn't defeat him, you have to defeat him again. Like, I don't think it'll be that hard. He's an idiot.
He is stupid, yes. But yes, the path is cleared for the hero's escape. Zelkova curses them to rue the day, and we move on. So, yeah, I'm gonna say 1.5 out of 3 this week.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
There was okay parts of the third one. I would say there was even a couple gags in the second one I liked. Here's a question. Is the second one a better Chaotix in Space episode than the first one?
Well, this one doesn't have them, like, kidnapping anyone, so...
Yeah, but they do beat the shit out of Knuckles.
Yeah, that hurts more for me.
Yeah, they're only kidnapping Cream.
Well, that's too bad. But next time on Deep Dive Zone, we are heading into the so-called Metarex universe, whatever they call it by that point, and we'll have some dark moments.
Oh, it is next week.
Sure. Oh, wait, I know what you're talking about.
But with all that said, that is where we are done for tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you two for being my co-commentators on these episodes. If you like this video, please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, criticisms, suggestions, or feedback, you can find us at any of the links in the link tree in the description. I hear that co-host is shutting down, so that sucks. You can't use that one after a certain point. But, you know, I kind of knew that was going to happen from the start, if I'm honest. I really wish a real replacement to Twitter would come, because I don't fucking like Twitter. But with all that said, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope you have a great rest of your night. We'll see you next Sunday for another episode. And take care.